And I thought Shane Buechele was really a difference maker when they needed him to be one. So a lot of credit to him. Obviously we're disappointed with our performance. I thought the defense for most of the game played some of its best football that it has played. Sort of under duress with field position, with turnovers, and I thought our kids, they continue to fight, whether it was a couple fourth down stops, blocking the field goal, picking the ball off in the end zone, sort of really signs of life from them. And I was just disappointed that the offense, turned the ball over, a couple of times early, and was really unable to get any sort of ground game going and get the ball in the end zone. So we have to continue to get better. We took a lot of injuries today. Zach got banged up. Charlie got banged up. Michael got banged up. Tristan obviously was knocked out of the game. Nicholson was knocked out of the game, came back, and but he was pretty banged up. So there's a lot of guys out there that were fighting, and trying to play through some injuries. There was some other kids that haven't played a ton. They got a chance to go out there and play, and hopefully that will help us as we move forward. So, but obviously overall a very disappointing day for us. We went into that football game feeling like it was a game we could win, feeling like we had a good plan defensively, and just weren't able to get anything going enough on offense, and penalties and turnovers really kind of stopped that at an early point. So we'll continue to work, and we'll get ready for Kansas and continue to try to move forward and overcome the disappointment and go out there and fight next week. So with that, I'll see what you guys have to say.
Matt, with the quarterbacks, were you just kind of going on field as far as who would be?
Yeah, we thought we'd play Zach the first drive, and do some more traditional things. We wanted to try to make some throws down the field that his arm can make. And then we thought, second series we'd come out and sort of the three-back option stuff with Charlie. Charlie kind of got dinged up pretty quickly, and that sort of took us out of maybe him running quite as much. And just after that was just sort of a couple times it was, hey, who's feeling better, because they're both pretty beat up. And so, but yeah, we were just kind of had some packages for each guy, and we were prepared. We were hoping that Zach would take us right down the field and score, we'd keep him out there. But we wanted to change up with the option backs and kind of got some things going, and then had the move the ball a little bit on that second drive, and then had that penalty. And penalties were really disappointing today.
Matt, you talked about the defense there. I mean, it kind of kept you in the game in that first half, because I think they had the last goal. Texas had a couple of fourth. How big was that, just to at least keep you in the game that long? Yeah,
they gave up a couple long running plays at the end, but I thought in terms of the passing game and some of the things that have bothered us, getting some pressure on third down, getting to the quarterback, it was one of our better defensive efforts. I thought they handled the run. So I went for it the one time in the second half on our own 40, didn't get it. I thought they went, so they put them in not in great positions. We dropped the punt, so they did not have great positions sometimes. But I thought that they fought and were able to make some plays. And I think our second interception of the year, so that's moving hopefully in the right direction. But played a lot of young kids over there, and I thought you saw some of them show up and make some plays. James Lynch is a guy that continues to make plays, as are many others.
Matt, do you ever consider when you had fourth about midfield, about 2.5 minutes to play in the second, about going for it, or would you just want to strictly punt?
Yeah, I think about it all the time. Sometimes we call like a fake punt that's a read. If he has it, he takes it, and we call that a couple times a day. If they rush, he kicks it. But I definitely thought about it. But at that point, I thought we were playing good defense, and I didn't want to put them under any more duress. I wanted to try to pin those guys and get a stop. And normally, if I felt really good about what we were doing, I would have called timeouts on first and second down. But especially after last week, I wanted those kids to experience some success. So we got the stop and went for the block punt. Had we were having a little bit more success, maybe I would have. But even the one we had was 3rd and 1, and we were just really having a hard time knocking these guys back and getting some yardage.
Was their speed on defense even better, I think, personally, what you saw on tape?
I just think, they kind of sat back. They did to us what they did to Oklahoma State. They sort of sat back and kept everything in front of them. And I thought they rallied to the ball and tackled and, made plays on the ball. There were a couple times we had a chance to make a catch, and they were there. They are so tall and athletic. And then when they blitzed, they brought it. They came, and obviously you could see at the end it almost got, it got a little out of hand there in terms of our inability to pick up some of those blitzes. But, they're a big, fast, athletic group. They've recruited really, really, really well. It's outstanding defensive personnel, especially as you sit out there and see them.
Matt, it's obviously hard to beat another team when you're not beating. I know there's no magic formula to it, but how do you get past, like you said, the turnovers, the penalties, the things that you're doing to yourself.
Yeah. Well, you keep coaching it, and the thing that you see is like the penalties were down. Like last week, we only had 4 penalties to their 11, right? So we thought, okay, we've got that figured out. We haven't fumbled a football by a running back, I think, pretty in a long time. I don't even remember. I can remember one. And then, the second drive we fumble, and it's about to be 2nd and 4. You can't beat that team fumbling, on your own 20-yard line. We fumble another one that goes to the 10-yard line. So. We had thought we had a lot of those things corrected, I think the one thing you see is kids that are pressing. Sometimes they're trying to do too much. Like that first interception should never, the ball should be out. It's not either right away or then the ball's outside. So you see kids that are pressing because they're good kids and they're trying to fight and they're trying to scratch and claw. And as a result, you sometimes do a little bit too much. And that's our job, is to keep coaching it. And I know it's not a boring answer, but if I had a better answer, I'd go sell it somewhere, because it's just continue to work hard. I thought there were lots of opportunities for plays to be made. There were balls in our hands. There were some plays that we thought we had, that some penalties, and stuff brought back. And again, you're not going to win. You're not going to win unless you go up and jump up and make those plays.
With all due respect, with what you're dealing with, is there anything positive that comes out of today?
Well, I thought defensively, I thought that was better than it has been, and I thought not giving up the big play in the passing game was they had the sprint out on 3rd down, so I guess that's probably not the greatest thing to say, but I thought the 4th down stops, the sacks, the hitting the quarterback, that was good defensive football. They just could have needed some help from the offense, but yeah, there wasn't a ton very good today that we can take away from it. The truth is always somewhere in between. So to sit here now and say, like, we'll turn on the tape and we'll see some people played better, we'll see some guys didn't do it. As I said to them in there, I said, when you go through this, sometimes some guys will come in and say, it's not my fault. What are we doing this? Why are we doing that? Other guys will say, boy, if I just do X, Y, and Z, we can win. And so you hope that guys will come out of that today and say, we can do a lot better. I don't know, what was the score at halftime? 21-7. So you're really talking about, really.
Snap.
Yeah, muff snap and a pick. So I thought our defense really played well in the first half, and then just got maybe a little worn down in the 4th quarter. And even that last touchdown, I think we bounced off of them, and they were still going tempo there, and we got a little tired, and so we probably could have done a better job stubbing some kids in. But there's always something positive in it. But right now, as you sit here, it's kind of hard to feel it.
Blake Lynch staying on offense?
No, he played corner. He just came over and just took a couple snaps. He was a guy we weren't sure if he was going to play. You probably sick of me saying this, but he had the stomach flu all day yesterday and today, so it's running rampant through our team apparently. So, now Blake will hopefully continue to play defense and then give us a couple snaps here and there on offense.
Do you have any idea of the severity of some of the injuries that you mentioned earlier? Like Zach Smith, I noticed he had to go to the trainer's tent and his shoulder was bothering him.
Yeah, I wouldn't know now. They'll probably get some scans and some things on some of those guys, X-rays or whatever on some of the guys. So I wouldn't have a good feel yet for there was nothing surgical, but there were a lot of guys that were banged up. So we'll see what their ability is for next week.
What was Ebner?
Ebner got hit on his thigh, so they'll probably take an X-ray to see if anything got hurt. That's a great that play to me. It was a great example of the day. That was ball should be a touchdown. And it's 4 lead blockers and 1 defender out there, and their kid made the play, and we weren't able to. And that's a credit to their kid. I want to make sure I say that. It's a credit to that player from Texas. That was it. But also, the opportunities are there. We got to take advantage of them. And there's an opportunity next week, and we have to take advantage of it to go play another team and continue to try to move forward.
You have had to work on the mental part of this team as much as anything else, with a lot of things. Is this going to be a week where that's critical?
I told them we'd find out on Monday. I told them they'll either come in on Monday and there'll be a lot of truth being told. Where you have a good team when guys come in and say, "Boy, I know I messed up X, Y, and Z, and I've got to do this better." If guys are coming in and we're having to pull teeth, then we're not. And so we have to go beat Kansas, and to go beat Kansas, starts now with what our minds do between now and Monday. And nobody's going to feel sorry for us, so we have no time to feel sorry for ourselves. Nobody's going to give us anything, so we have no time to ask for handouts. We have to go, and we have to go play, and we have to go take what we want. And so I think there's just too many, there'll be some guys probably that feel that way. There's some guys that this is too hard and they start to crack a little bit, but there's too many guys here that are too strong. There's too many guys. I mean, I think when you see the way the defense came out and played early on, there's too many guys that are getting better and trying too hard to not go out and compete next week at a high level.
Matt Ogre made his first start. What do you like about him? What does he give you on the defense?
Well, I mean, Eric's he has a chance to be a difference maker when he's out there. He's fast, he's explosive. Even the one long run that they started to have, he ran the guy down. He can be. He's not always the most disciplined in terms of doing what he's supposed to do, and he got banged up in the game, so he was a little limited as the game went on. But he takes away people's screen games to the field better than anyone else we have right now. He does a nice job out there of fighting and leveraging, and he is competitive and he is tough and physical. And so hopefully he'll be healthy for next week.
Do you envision continuing to kind of rotate Charlie and Zach in, or will that maybe depend on how healthy he is?
I think a lot of it, the first thing we'll probably have to figure out is how healthy they are. It didn't seem like Zach was going to be able to go back in at the end of that game. So, I was sort of examining option 3, and at the end of the game, there's some kids that are on this team that fight hard. And I wanted to make sure they got a catch or, had a chance to touch the football. So I want to make sure Jason Clemens had a catch. I want to make sure that Obim Okiki got a chance to carry the football. So, but, we're down. I don't know if we'll have one quarterback, maybe 2 next week. We'll see.
Matt, do you sense that these guys are feeling a lot of pressure to break through that?
I think they are. I think they are. But you know what? As I said to them, we can't feel sorry for ourselves. We can't. No one's going to give us anything, and we have to go fight. So there is pressure, but it's real. I mean, they want to win. They're a much better team than we are a much better team than our record says we are. But Bill Parcells says you are what your record says you are. So I know they want to have that feeling of being victorious because they're working so hard. And so I think sometimes we do press a little bit, sometimes we do push, but at the end of the day, those are just all words and emotions. This game was about blocking and tackling. It was about, winning the game up front. I thought our defensive line played pretty well, but their defensive line, got after us and hit our quarterback way too many times. And so this is about football. We got to play better football next week.
About Marcus Jones, he seemed to be playing on both sides of the ball. I haven't really seen a lot of him much this year, but he was out there quite a bit. Yeah,
that's kind of where we are just right now with Pooh being down and RJ being down and Platt being down. So we put Marcus in. We had moved him over 2 weeks ago back from corner. He had played receiver, then went to corner, and then we moved him back over. And he's a 4.0 student. I mean, he's brilliant, and so he can pick things up quickly. I thought he did a nice job. Made a couple catches. I think one of them got called back because of a penalty, or they said we had lined up wrong or something. But I thought he did a nice job. Made a good 4th down catch. So he's one of our faster kids on our team, and so hopefully he can continue to give us a few snaps.